How's it going, guys? So, welcome to the Fine I'll Say It podcast, where we talk about all the things that people are too scared to say nowadays. We live in an age where, it's the outrage culture where people are too scared to say.
People don't want to say things they're afraid of hurting other people's feelings.
It's not even that. Just you can just say the littlest thing nowadays,
you'll get someone,
and you can get fired.
Someone triggered. Yeah, it's I don't know.
Did you hear about that guy on Twitter? I think it was the a day without a woman day.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah, where they were it was women. Yeah.
Yeah, women don't come to work.
Yeah.
And some guy tweeted saying, "A day without a woman, finally some peace." And because of that,
I mean, that's it's not. It's funny to me because I'm not a woman, but.
But because of that, he got fired.
He got fired.
He lost his job.
Wow.
And then he got fucking got
what?
hated by the internet because of that.
Nah, that's.
And it's just a fucking dad joke.
that is
we can't fucking make dad joke nowadays.
I mean, it's a little bit further than a dad joke, but
that's a fucking dad joke.
Yeah, but it's did he really?
We're fucking banning dads now.
No more dads. None.
No more dads. And you're watching this probably on YouTube right now, but we also have this SoundCloud. I'm probably going to put this on iTunes and Stitcher. I'm going to figure this out. I'll have all the links for it in the description.
We'll throw it on every single platform because we're a horse.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, don't fucking say that word. It's 2018. Right.
Yeah,
we say
I'm sorry. Prostitute.
see, we need the pop filters that just destroyed my ears.
Did it?
Yeah, say it again now.
Oh, hold on, I got this. Hold on, we're doing it live.
We got our
prostitutes.
See that was perfect. So I can say stuff like pussy. If I start off cursing.
All right, so we're gonna start it off. So the way it's gonna work is we're gonna come up with 3 topics each per episode. And ideally, if they're not long enough, we're gonna do more. Obviously, try to get it, as long as we possibly can. Probably an hour each episode is the ideal goal.
But this is the first episode, so we'll see how it goes from here.
Yeah, this is a trial run. We're gonna see how it works.
Yes.
So the first topic, I guess I'll give it to you.
All right, I'll start out, which is left is the new right nowadays.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I used to be pretty left wing. I would just lean left for most of the time. Yeah. Because when I was really young, when I thought of someone that's Republican or on the right side, I always thought of them as this it was a cartoonish image of a villain.
Fucking, yeah,
it's oh, I need money.
Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, it's fuck the gays, fuck everyone.
Gays are a problem. They need to be stopped.
Yeah, that's the image I had, and
yeah.
But nowadays it's kind of reversing.
It's flipped. Yeah, absolutely. I think that the way it kind of turned out is I think because when I was younger, I remember a lot of internet videos on YouTube. And all that stuff. A lot of it, a lot of those old funny I guess you would call them cringe videos now, but that's not where they were.
Wait, which kind of videos?
Like on the news and or over politicians saying oh, video games will give you cancer, kids don't fucking play them, or saying I remember there was one of the politicians where he's I don't want gays waving it in my face, and that became a huge joke on him. I think this is gonna this is gonna make me sound like such a faggot. But do you remember Ray William Johnson?
Oh God.
Yeah, so
I loved him as a kid, but
yeah, me too. No, me too. He was great. I mean, he wasn't, but I don't know. I have to rewatch the whole video and see how I feel about them.
I wouldn't recommend that at all.
No, I mean, bro, I don't know, man. Whatever. Shout out to Ray.
Yeah. Dude, he still makes vlogging videos.
Still makes 3 views.
Yeah, he I seen him do some new stuff.
I mean, we can't really talk shit. But,
yeah.
We can't really talk shit, but yeah, I don't know. I used to watch videos like that and see even also in my house. I come from a family that's really mixed politically.
Yeah.
And my parents one side's very left leaning, one side's very right leaning, so it's really hard. I came out basically a perfect balance. I think because not perfect balance, but I came out a balance. I'm pretty imperfect. No, but I came out more balanced because I think that I had both sides kind of always in my head.
Yeah.
So
that's very important.
I mean, it is important.
Just with most things in life, you gotta have balance, and that's why I like to stay in the middle because
yeah, I guess
when it comes to most issues, you got
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason there's like two sides, because both of them have like some point.
Fair points, yeah. I just think like, but back to like, the left being the right.
Get a little closer.
Yeah, my bad. Back to the left being the new right. I think that like, especially now with like social media, I think it's mostly because of social media, because I feel that before it was just the news and it was just like, YouTube videos, or even like just like some people on the street and what you heard. But now that we have social media, people can take those thoughts and they can get paid for it, man. Like they can like have a platform, like someone like fucking Alex Jones, who I'm not discrediting it. I don't have any opinion on Alex Jones. Well, I do, but I feel that like he I lied, but I feel that he he has a voice because of just the age we live in. And because of this outrage culture of people being like, oh, you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't, and people like him are winning off of that.
Yeah. I think one of the big difference that was made was that, so I feel like the right side, was considered bad, like, like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Because they would like restrict people, they'd be like, if you're gay, you're not allowed to get married. Also, I don't want to see you.
I think a lot of it too.
And they were like, fuck abortion. No one's allowed to have abortion.
Yeah.
And then like over the years, the right side evolved from that, and they started becoming more open-minded. And they're like, all right, being gay is fine. You can have an abortion or whatever.
Yeah.
But then left side like went from that, and they like evolved into this like stupid shit where like you're like, all right, you're not allowed to call people the wrong gender.
Yeah.
You have to like. Yeah. No, there's like in Canada. In Canada,
Oh my god, that was something I wanted to bring up like as a topic later, because that shit is fucking stupid. It's so stupid that I'm gonna make this part of a point. If I went into like, let's say, because we live in New York, so and we have friends that go to school in like Buffalo, upstate, so like near Canada. So if I were to go, visit my boy in Buffalo. Shout out to Danny. And I went to Buffalo, and I went to Niagara Falls, and we decided to go on a little trip to Canada. And I went in public, and I said, gays are the problem. I hate gays, right? Just randomly said shit like that. I could just get arrested, and or I could get fined, and I can't do anything about it.
Dude, you can like walk up to like some guy and be like, hey, sir, how are you doing? And it could be a woman, and you would like, she can sue you.
Like your tone.
No, she could sue you for misgendering her.
Wait, what?
You can sue people for misgendering. That's what happened to that's what happened to Jordan Peterson.
Really?
Yeah, because he like refused to call someone by their like pronoun, so he got like in trouble for that.
Really? Yeah, I think the pronoun. I think I respect like if I meet someone new, and you go up to me and you like really genuine, you say I go by these pronouns. I'll call you whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
but if I'm in the street. And like you bump into me and you look like a guy, I'm gonna say sorry, sir. I'm not gonna stop in the middle of a fucking busy ass street and go, what's your pronouns? So I can tell you sorry? Like it makes no fucking sense, bro. Like I'm all for making people feel welcome and making people feel like how they feel like they matter, feel like they have a place in society. But I'm not gonna change myself, because you will go crazy trying to like just like change everything you do,
especially since like people are like coming out with like their own like terms. They're like, you get to call me Z,
or
like,
I think there's like an infinite number of genders or something.
It's like it's
there's like a growing list. I mean, that's also another like
that's topic. A different topic that we'll get into later.
Too. But I think that like if like whether or not you lean right or left, I think a lot of people can agree, like, because the people that are like far extremes on both sides always are going to get the most attention.
Of course. Because
that's the entertainment. People want to see, what was that name? The name of the lady that got like, that yelled at that guy, humongous guy?
Oh.
The fuck is her name? Zarna? Zarna. Yeah.
Humongous what?
People started talking about her and started like, memeing on her and shit because of that. And people, and she also got a voice because of it too, from like the people that are also on the far left. Mm-hmm. And, people on the far right, like, what's a good example? I mean, we could talk about like Milo Yiannopoulos or anyone like that, really. Like people like that just like they're really far right, and because of the shit they say, like they just have a voice because that's what people. And Milo's like, I guess Milo's like an example of someone who he's kind of.
Well,
like
the problem is that they have a voice because like people are scared to talk nowadays. You like you just because you like misgender someone, you can like get into such a big trouble nowadays.
Yeah. I also feel like most people are really moderate. Like a lot of people are like, even if they are like identify as Republicans, they're generally just like moderate. Like people are like, oh, like I'm a Republican because economically I feel that that I agree with a lot of Republican stances on economics, and that's fair. And a lot of people are Democrats because they feel that socially they agree with a lot of liberal policies. I also agree with a lot of liberal policies. I think marijuana should be legal countrywide. I don't know why. Definitely. I don't know why it's still. That's another topic too. But I don't know why it's still talked about. I really don't.
Do you think that all drugs should be legal?
No, I don't. I don't think that because okay. So that's a libertarian type of deal where it's like fuck it, make it all legal. But I feel that if you do that, then that just like. It makes it so.
Yeah, I don't think you can say all because like if you like make like bad, really, like, people
bad
like, salt.
But if you want to do, but people like if you want to do it, then they should be allowed to like put a tax on. But put a tax on heroin and say advertise heroin, like doesn't that sound kind of fucked? And people say, oh, you can't advertise it.
Well, the good thing that would come from that is that you will like eliminate people from selling them legally.
But it wouldn't. Because if the government started selling it, who's to say they wouldn't sell it really high, and then people would just be like, "Oh, I'm not going to pay that for that. Fuck that." Or the government keeps tabs on you, because they're selling you this shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because if those drugs are going to be legal, it's going to be government controlled, no matter what, which is fair. Yeah. Right? Drugs. I think drugs and like also maybe even alcohol should be to a degree government restricted. Just like there's the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, that restricts.
We're getting off topic.
I'm sorry.
Come on, please. Let's stay in this fucking lane.
Back to the topic.
Yeah.
Gays are the problem. No. I'm just gonna keep saying that.
Yeah, you're gonna have the whole gay community after you.
But so many people.
I mean, you also kind of look like a bear, so I think they'll be after you for a different reason, also.
Yeah, that's fair. No, but a lot of people in my life are like are gay, trans, or in that sort of spectrum, like just LGBTQ+.
Yeah, like the way I see it is that if, whatever your gender you want to call yourself or whatever, that's your business. But the moment you like make it my business, then that's the problem.
That's where
when you're like, oh, you have to change your whole vocabulary because I feel this way.
The same thing. We're going to talk about this later in this episode, but also the same thing with religion. Like, if you're like, you can be a Jehovah's Witness. That's cool. But if you knock on my door while I'm trying to fucking like play video games or beat me, then like fuck off, guy. Like I'm not trying to do that. Yeah,
fucking open the door and like jizz in your eye or some shit.
So I think we can move on to next topic.
All right. So
so I had a good one, and I think it's hip hop is the new rock and roll. Ooh. Which because I really like hip hop music. I really like music in general. I'm very musical, but like in general, I just my life kind of revolves around it, so I feel that it's something important to me. So, and I listen to a lot of new hip hop, old hip hop, R&B, soul, funk, blues, jazz, reggae, rock, classical. I listen to a lot of shit, so I have I feel like I know about like this direction.
Yeah.
And
wait, which rock are you talking about though?
Like all rock. I listen to like.
You mean like
punk rock, classic rock, metal? You
mean like the AC/DC, Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses, era?
That's classic rock.
Yeah.
I listen to that, and I listen to like punk bands, pop punk bands. Ska is my personal favorite subgenre because it's like horns and like.
Wait, what is it?
It's like ska.
What the fuck is that?
You don't know what ska is?
I've never heard of it.
To you? No. So like. Ska is basically like imagine like what's called ska punk is basically like how they identify it. Okay. So imagine Blink-182.
Okay.
Like a pop punk. Oh, let me explain. But they don't sound anything like it. But imagine Blink-182, but there's horns. So it's a bad way to like describe it. But
so it's Tom DeLonge with horns.
It's cool. I'll play you some of it later. But it's like my favorite band.
Will you sleep
Fish.
to
no.
Boop?
No, it's not like that. But like. I don't know, like imagine imagine the Ramones. You know the Ramones. The Ramones.
I'm like very illiterate when it comes to music.
Okay. But ska is basically like a very like up, like it's super like it's not meant to like be super down.
Oh, so it's like an uplifting
it's not like uplifting. It's really hype. Like it's super like it's music that you dance to. It's not music that you fuck somebody up to. Does that make sense?
Fuck? Is that what you listen to? That's illegal.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I mean,
so why is it like?
Well, so the thing is, so hip hop. So like nowadays, a lot of rock. There isn't really a lot of like popular rock bands talked about in pop culture.
Yeah, rock is like pretty much dead.
It's not dead. It's not dead, and I think it will resurface.
Like from like the popular culture perspective, it's all rap.
Oh, from like mainstream, I think rap is like hip hop is mainstream.
Yeah.
Hip hop and R&B is mainstream, and it sucks too to even put those two together because hip hop and R&B in like the '90s were two totally different genres.
Yeah,
and singers, rappers didn't mix. So like Ice Cube even had a lyric I remember in one of his albums where he said like fuck R&B and like they'll never catch me singing shit. Yeah, you know what I'm talking. I know you like Ice Cube and old hip hop. Yeah,
that's my shit. Fucking Ice Cube, Tupac, DMX.
So
all
like
those fuckers.
I love that shit too. So like, I think it's really interesting to like look at like groups like Migos, people like Ski Mask Slump God, who's also a new artist I really like. People like Future, Young Thug. Like those guys, even those guys are older too. That's like the weird part. Young Thug and Future are older dudes, but they have this like kind of new like sound that like is kind of like I feel right now it's kind of being oversaturated with like all the ad libs and like this kind of like really like walk it like I tuck it, walk it like I
the mumbling like, rappers.
Yeah, like the mumble. It's kind of like mumble rap.
I can't say any music nowadays to be honest. Like
I like it in doses. Like I like for example I like Drake.
Yeah.
Right. And I think Drake, if you listen to Drake's albums, not just like one Drake song, if you listen to like More Life and you listen to Views and you listen to like You Will Regret, if you listen to those albums front to back, you will see Drake is actually a really well-rounded artist. With some lyrics I feel that are a little bit troubling. Like sometimes like some stuff towards women that I'm like, did he actually say that?
like what?
Like I can't pull anything out of my head specifically right now, but like just stuff where it's like
you need the pussy filter.
Oh yeah, let me. Pussy. No. So stuff that like where he says stuff and I'm like, I don't know why. Like, cause you'll also go to like clubs and you'll go to like parties and you'll see girls dancing to these songs.
Well, I feel like the whole like rap culture is kind of like sexist towards women, where they will
it's changing now.
Cause it's like a lot of it just like I get monies and hoes, that's like the
fuck
class.
Bitches get money, like said that how 44 she get in the back now. Like no, and like I don't know, cause I like that like kind of style. And I like the lyrics too. Like they're not a lot of hip hop lyrics, especially now, are not meant to be like thought about. A lot of those club like I like a lot of conscious hip hop.
Yeah,
a lot of like really lyrical stuff like
Kendrick Lamar.
I mean, he's not. I wouldn't say. I mean, I do. Okay, so me and him fight about Kendrick Lamar.
No, I just
like to fuck with me. But
I just like to be a country.
Yeah, I like Kendrick Lamar because he takes this like kind of like his music is really smart. He's a really smart guy.
Yeah, he's like, give me water. I hate Photoshop.
Wow. No, but like if you listen to Pimp a Butterfly, I think that's one of the best albums of the 21st century.
I actually like him. I listened to a couple of his songs and
I really, really, really like his music. And I think that like, and it's like his newer album, Damn, which came out last year, April 2017.
Yeah.
I feel that album, like a lot of the songs on that album are kind of like, just like mush in my head because I've heard them so many times.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, like a lot of them.
Is that
like,
a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. Like I think it's more of a bad thing because like the songs from The Pimp a Butterfly, like Method Man, King Kunta, Complexion. Was that song called Complexion? Yeah, Complexion. There's like all these songs. All right, like all those songs. Like I don't get tired of them. I listen to those on repeat, like over and over and over, and like. It's just so good, and I can't say the same for Damn. Like I listened to DNA like once, and I'm like I don't want to hear the song for another 3 months.
Well, let's get back on the topic. So, how would you say the rap nowadays is similar to?
Well, because it's like people talk about how like hip hop is damaging our youth, and kids are doing drugs because of Lil Pump. And kids, and like. My argument to that is
and back in the day
kids say the same thing about AC/DC, about Aerosmith, about all these.
It's the devil's music.
It's the devil's music, and there's always going to be a new devil's music. And I think that's what like it's not even because like Christian mom. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like they talk about they're the voice of the young generation, and the voice of the young generation switched from rock to hip hop, and I think that kind of happened in like the late '90s.
Yeah, I feel like that happens like every couple.
It happens every couple decades. It definitely does. Yeah. But because way back in the day, it was like like that kind of like blues, like jazz shit. Some of it was like pretty rebellious. Yeah. Like especially like a lot of those artists, they were like they said things that like people before them didn't talk like that. People before them didn't say shit like that. Like Ella Fitzgerald, like Sammy Davis Jr. Just like to name a few, Billie Holiday. They sang when they sang. Sometimes they would say things and they had to cut. Yeah. Like in a live show, just cut. Like they don't want people hearing them in white clubs. You know what I mean? Like that's and like now we have the internet and we have social media.
I mean, back in those days, like a lot of the music was just like this. It was like this like artificial idea of like holding on to like the past, like the like the Pleasantville movie, for example.
But also a lot of like you got to look at where hip hop came from too, because that old blues music, that old jazz music, a lot of it was to distract from the problems that they were facing in the real communities, and it still is like that. If you listen to this is a recent song, Childish Gambino's "This Is America." I'm sure you heard it. You heard it. Right? So that song, like the whole point of the song and the video, because the song and the video were like I think together it's just perfect, and it's just kind of like. He's dancing around. He's doing all this like funky shit. Like, oh, look at me. I'm so like, I'm having a great time. In the back, with people dying, getting dragged away from cars, like just fire, murders, kids recording it and shit. Like this is kind of shit where it's like,
this is America.
This is America, but it's like, fuck you. but and people were mad because people were making memes about it and shit. Also, fuck that. I can make memes whatever I want. But, I'm gonna state that. Like,
fuck the meme.
Like Complex. Like I was a Complex. It was one of those like music sites that were like, for the love of God, stop memeing Childish Gambino's "This Is America," and it's like when you say do not make memes of this, that's when the internet goes bet.
Wait, who said that?
It was I think it was Complex. It was one of those websites.
You can't say that.
You can't
say don't make.
It's like when Beyonce said she had that picture of her at the Super Bowl where she was like making that weird ass face. Yeah. You remember? And she was like, like trying to get rid of it from the internet.
No, you can't do that. The more you fight, the more shit you're gonna get. Like the fucking
exactly.
Like Kim Jong Un's memes. Like
those are fucking. They're perfect. Yeah, but
I love that, especially the one with Donald Trump where they're like, it's like them like looking at you and then they shake hands and then people just meme stupid shit. With their
with the portfolio.
Yeah, it's like
when he's just like he stored in the balls. Like,
yeah, it's like Melinda made cookies. You want to come over? And they're like shaking hands.
What was the one I sent you where it's like your haircut is stupid? He's just like North Korea nukes US.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but I'm gonna end it with, if you want to listen to some good hip hop right now, I recommend Kanye's new album. Yay, it's really good. I also recommend.
Is that the one that just came out?
It came out a couple weeks ago.
Because he was like making people were like saying that he was like saying controversial. Just
he
like
was, but I don't think it was. I think he really does feel those things in some way. Yeah, Kanye's also. I think Kanye's like a different topic himself. I think he's such a topic. Yeah, like him. But to end it, Kanye's new album Ye is good. A week later or 2 weeks later, Kid See Ghost dropped, which is him and Kid Cudi. With mostly Kid Cudi in the album. Like from what I listened to, a lot of it's Kid Cudi. And it's like phenomenal. It's so good, dude. They recorded it in Japan. They went on a trip to Japan, recorded the album. I have not like that album. I heard people who don't even like hip hop. Yeah, were telling me that this album's like amazing. It's so good. So also to end, I just want to talk about on Monday, a rapper named XXXTentacion, who is someone I actually followed for like a year and a half. He passed this week, and I want to say that, like, I was a really big fan. I really did, and I still am. And I want to say that, like, life is like, especially like now with like stuff when you're famous like that, anything can happen to you. So he and a lot of like, and I've noticed a lot of trends of him saying like, I don't need bodyguards. I can go out and be free. And he did a lot of stuff on his own. And I'm not here to like call him out, not here to say anything, but I wanted to say like, just be safe like if you're someone like that, just be safe. And,
yeah.
You know, don't take life for granted.
Yeah, Drake, if you're watching, be safe.
Stop. But it was such a shock to like a lot of people, and you know, like I wish the best to his family, his friends. A lot of people were looking at Ski Mask as some god who is one of his best friends, who they had a rocky history. And Ski Mask is one of the artists I follow. I love Ski Mask. I think he's a very talented musician. You know, a lot of people. He's been releasing a lot of unfinished X songs, and I just want to rest in peace. You know, let the kid rest, please, because I see a lot of memes, people joking about it.
That always happens, but
it's gonna happen.
You can't control it, unfortunately.
No, I'm not saying, but like just let the kid. You know, if you think about it, just you know what the right thing to do is. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, so
moving on.
Yeah, but we're gonna take a quick break.
Yeah.
But if you're watching, we're just gonna cut it, and then you'll be on the next topic. Yeah. But we'll see you right back.
Welcome back to the Final Say It podcast. So next, we're gonna talk about.
Well, I got it.
Well, yeah, you go.
I got it right here.
Kill yourself.
So we're gonna be talking about androids.
Okay.
Okay. So have you played the game Android Become Human?
What?
Did you play the game Android Become Human?
Android, I thought it was called Detroit Become Human.
Fuck. No, the game Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So let me explain to those people.
Yeah, I didn't play it. But I know like the premise, kind of.
Yeah, so, well, first thing, this is kind of like a futuristic sci-fi game, and things that I completely hate sci-fi.
Yeah, I know that.
And I think the reason for that is because, it's just like, I watch some shit, and then I'm like, and, it kind of just has like this like feeling that's like, people that made it are kind of like, oh, this is going to be the future. Yeah. But then I see it, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like, for example, Star Wars, Like, look at Star Wars, and they're like, oh, let's fight with lightsabers.
That shit was made long ago, though.
Yeah, but listen, they have lightsabers.
Okay.
You know what's better than lightsabers? A
Guns.
fucking gun.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck is the point?
Laser guns. All right, we're going to move on.
That's the reason I don't really like sci-fi shit, but I love this game because when I played it, like, I watched someone else play it, but whatever. But with that game, I saw that, and I was like, fuck, this is our fucking future.
Yeah.
This game is literally like the foretelling of the future, because the thing about the game is that the premise is that, pretty much, and people made androids that look exactly like human, they act like human, they think like human, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And, they're pretty much being used as like slaves, kind of, people are using it to like as their servants. Some people are using it as like a sex servants and everything.
We're already there, dude. Like,
and things that's going to be the fucking future.
We're like already there.
Yeah, but we don't have them like walking around, and because of that, because they're so human-like, they're replacing people's jobs. Like in the game, there's like a 40% like unemployment rate.
Wow.
Because they're just taking. Why would you hire someone when you can just buy an Android and they'll do the same job? You just gotta charge them at night.
Yeah.
I know this is the fucking future we're dealing with. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, how are people going to get jobs in the future when you can have a robot that will do it for free?
The good news is that I'm a technician, so I'll fix the droids, and that will be
Dude, they will make androids
that will fix androids.
Yes, that will happen.
Androids that will fix those androids.
Yes.
Well, dude.
They're going to do that.
Fuck.
That's the fucking future. You're going to be unemployed. We're going to be fucking homeless. We're going to fucking die.
Honestly, I'm about
all
it.
These fucking robots.
I'm about dying.
Dude, the whole time I was playing that game.
Watch it, yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna get a fucking sex robot. Dude, that's the fucking. That's what I was thinking. So I was like, would I fuck this robot?
We already have fuck droids.
Yeah, but they're just like they just lay there.
Yeah, they're not like human yet.
Hey, you know what the biggest thing they will have, a future they will definitely have, self-cleaning.
Oh no.
that alone's gonna replace women. Because the thing is that if you have like a sex doll, you know, you gotta fuck that sex doll. You're gonna come inside of it, and after you come, you kind of have this like sense of clarity and like shame to it. You're
like, fuck.
You're like, you just come and you're like, whoa, where the fuck am I and what am I doing?
it's like you were on a high.
Yeah,
yeah.
You just like go from here to, you just drop down.
Yeah,
and then cleaning that up afterwards. That sounds like a nightmare. I never had sex with like a sex doll, but like. That sounds terrible. But if it can't do it itself, then
if it just like fucking vacuums itself up,
yeah, it's
and
like,
then
it has
like
that was a good session, and then
out.
just goes to the bathroom and cleans itself.
Yeah, or it has like a bag inside, like it takes out of its stomach and it drops it.
Oh god!
Like, oh no, we've reached
and
peak clarity,
and things that people are gonna fall in love with these robots.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna be like, you know what? These robots are also people.
There was a movie I saw.
Can you pass my coffee?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, this episode is sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts.
There was a movie. I don't remember the name of the movie. My sister was like watching in my living room when I like came downstairs. But it's basically about this like a world where they have like these artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
like, they're not like sentient. They're not like real like tangible beings.
Are they man-made?
They're man-made, but they're AI.
Yeah.
So it's like imagine if like Siri was like an actual human, like had like her own thoughts, had like her own like way of speaking, had like her own like you could like if you asked her a question, she would answer it in a way she would. Like it's like that kind of thing. And this like basically they had these AI that were like interacting with people, and he got in a relationship with an AI.
Wait, what's the name of the movie?
I don't remember what it's called.
Is it her?
It could be her. It's like a guy who has like glasses.
He has like mustache.
Yeah.
I see that. That was a good movie.
That movie's crazy, dude. I don't remember. Thank you for. Now I have to watch it again because it was so
that was a really
wild.
Good movie.
Like he fell in love with this AI, and the AI got a different boyfriend.
It like turned out that like
it had like a whole bunch of different like.
Pretty much everyone else.
Pretty
was
much,
her
pretty
boyfriend.
much, yeah. Like she was like with everybody, but it like didn't like she wouldn't be able to like realize that was a bad.
So it's
thing.
like a real one.
I'm
kidding. But another point that I want to make is that so let's say if we have androids that look exactly like human and they're programmed so that they're self-thinking, so they're thinking for themselves, they act exactly like humans, they think like humans. Now is that a sentient being? And does it deserve like human rights?
Does that being deserve to like get like special treatment based on like anything like?
No, like does it get to be treated as like a normal human? Like gets his own rights and everything.
Like if you assault a droid on the street, is that a hate crime? Like that kind of shit.
Well, that would be like damage to property first of all,
but like if the thing can feel, and it can like and it has like emotions.
But does it feel?
But does it? That's the question. Does it like do they make them feel things so that way they're like humans, or do they make them not feel things so that way they're just like
but
tools?
do they deserve rights?
Do they deserve rights? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I would say no.
I don't know. I would say, I mean, if we make them and they're here and they have. I say if they have a conscience, if they have like,
I think it's hard to
if
like
they have a sense
define
of
what's
right
the
and wrong.
conscious.
Yeah, but if they have a sense of right and wrong, and they can do the right thing or the wrong thing, then I feel that like they can be, they can be just as human as anyone else. That's the question. What is human?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where it's like, where's the line?
Yeah.
Like I think androids are like tiptoeing on, even like AI is like tiptoeing on the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now when they have like AI like play chess with people and shit and like all that, it fucking freaks me out. Cause like who needs people? like
I think like in the future, I think what's gonna happen is that the androids are obviously gonna take over.
Okay.
And because of that, we either gonna have to like we're gonna have to cut down in population.
There was a convention between like all like the great minds of the world. Stephen Hawking was a part of this, I think. Where like,
is my cat crying? Why are you crying, Dio?
His cat is being gay.
It just came down and like started licking himself.
Yeah. Just like me at 3 a.m.
Yeah, but I've been there.
What are you gonna do? So. What was I talking about?
The great minds.
Oh yeah. So they had like all these like all the great minds in the world like come to like a convention, and they basically decided like where they would stop AI, like where like the line is.
Yeah.
Like where once they reach the ability to make like choices of like once they have morals.
Yeah, I think
that's where like the line is. Like that's where it's like nope.
I think I agree with that.
I agree with that too. I don't think they should like. I think having them like run programs and do tasks
where they can like
and
be
even be like customer service representatives. Like when like have you seen that?
The Google
that's so
duplex?
scary. That's so scary.
That's gonna take away so many jobs.
Oh yeah, like tell them like Oh, dude, you're just like, yes, I have an appointment at 3, and it's like, oh, let me talk to the doctor right away.
If you haven't
it's
seen
like,
it, search Google
oh
duplex.
My God.
It's insane. Well, if it's real, Google could be like that. I think Google can do it.
I don't know. They make Google Glass. That was pretty cool. Gotti.
What happened to that? They just canceled it.
I mean, I thought they released it.
They did. They had like a pre-order beta version. Yeah. I think they cut it because they were like, this isn't working or something.
I think it just was too ahead of its time.
It'll definitely come back.
Okay, so and to cut this off.
Yeah.
I think we both think that AI androids.
There has to be a line.
There's a line, and I think that line is having a conscience and having morals.
Yeah, I think they should be made to serve humans, not become humans.
Yeah.
Like if I have a sex bot that I'm fucking every night, but then they're like, oh, we got a new firmware update where like we're gonna make it so that you have to like
you can talk.
You have to like you have to like talk about your feelings and like be like
is this Japan?
Yeah, like middle of sex, just gets like a firmware update. It's like
work was terrible today.
They're like, so what are we? Yo, fuck that. Unstalling that shit.
Fuck that. So jailbreaking my sex bot. so another topic. So I came up with one.
All right, let's go with your topic.
Yeah. So, I was gonna talk about like the hype beast culture.
Okay.
Just like Supreme, like the brands, because ever since like I was in high school, because we're both. So you're 22, I'm 21.
Yeah.
So we're younger dudes, and
ever
since I was in like middle school, like. Yeah, like middle school was like when it started. Like brands like Obey, Section, like what was it called? Like all those like
brand
Supreme,
names. Yeah,
all those brand names were like, but they're like specific brand names. Like they're not like you would only see those brands worn by younger people, like people that are like 13 and like like 13 to like 21.
Yeah,
and that's like about it. At the time. Now I think it's like even more so. And originally a lot of those brands were like skating brands, but they like Diamond too. Like
skating culture's dead, right?
I don't know. I mean, like
I feel like
a lot of those brands started. Yeah, I think like the whole like Tony Hawk fucking like
where's Skate 4?
Yeah, where the fuck is Skate 4?
Yeah, Kojima.
This is the question. Kojima, get on it. back to your lab. Nah, but so I just want to talk about like because you heard about the Supreme crowbar, right?
Yes, I have.
Oh my! So for everyone who doesn't know, Supreme release a whole bunch of items. Like sometimes some weird shit, sometimes some cool shit. Sometimes some like hockey jerseys, shit like that. So I think it was like a year ago or 2 years ago. I'm not sure exactly when this happened, but it wasn't super recently. But they released a crowbar. It was like $200. Maybe even more. I think it was more. It was expensive. It was like
they just make like T-shirts, right?
They make T-shirts, hats, shoes. Like they make like they originally made like T-shirts, hats.
Like
and
I don't
shoes.
get
and
that
they were
at
like
all.
A skating brand.
Like when people like wear clothes, like they kind of like do it to like be an individual. They like if I like saw that you got a shirt, and I wouldn't buy the same shirt, but people are like, oh, it's like a whole culture itself.
It's like a cult kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Insane. Like,
and it's also expensive too, right?
Dude, the T-shirt's like $50
for a fucking T-shirt.
Fuck that, nah. Like
fuck that,
for a logo, for a red logo with some white words on it.
Especially if you see like the Gucci clothes and.
But that's like a lot of those are like worth like not worth, but like they're expensive for a reason.
No, they're not. It's like $1,000 for like a T-shirt and like.
Oh, I mean T-shirts. They're like those like.
They have like shoes that are like a couple $1,000.
Yeah, they have like headbands.
It's definitely not worth what it is. You're paying for the name.
Yeah, Gucci sweater.
I mean, it's like those people that it's kind of like those people that just drive like a BMW when they're like barely making like ends meet.
Yeah, well,
it's just like
I'm more so talking about like the kids because. A lot of that Supreme like hypebeast culture is kids.
Yeah.
Whether or not you want to like you can say like like not everybody, but like the large majority of that fan base is under 18.
Yeah.
You can sit here and argue me all day. Show me like.
Well, if it's under 18, how are they? Oh, I guess they're like rich kids.
Sometimes they just sit, like I remember I saw an interview like where they were going on the Supreme line and they were like talking to all these kids. One of them was like, "Yeah, I work like a part-time job at like McDonald's after school." and they're like, oh, like,
why the fuck are you paying?
How do you like? And they're like, oh, like, how do you? He's like, I don't eat out ever. I don't spend any money. I spend money when they announce shit like this. And they're like, so you have, they're like, so you have $1,000 in your credit, right? In your debit card right now, like in your checking account.
I mean, I'm there too, but
no, I mean, I feel that, but like, I don't know, because especially because you and I both work,
yeah,
and I work 2 jobs, so I
barely work one.
Yeah. Well, you do a lot of other shit too, but like, I work 2 jobs, so for me, like, when I see people waste their money on shit, when I work 2 jobs and I barely make my car payment, I'm like,
yeah,
I
mean, I waste a lot of money, you know that.
No, I know. I mean,
but the thing is that I like to at least waste money on like stuff like this that I'm like, I kind of see it as like an investment where I see I can do stuff with this.
Yeah, I mean,
but wasting on clothes, I don't get that. I always go cheap when it comes to clothes.
I remember PewDiePie did something where he was kind of shitting on Supreme because he's a commentary channel.
Yeah,
now, and he was shitting on Supreme, and he took a hat. And he basically made his own Supreme hat and called it Supreme.
Yeah.
And it kind of looked like a Supreme hat. So it was really funny. And he was like, go to the mall and get this for fucking $100.
But didn't he do the same thing with his chair? He was selling a PewDiePie chair that was $500.
It was $3.99.
Oh, $3.99.
the PewDiePie memes are good. I can't lie. Yeah. I mean, he kills them the second they become what. Anyways.
I like how PewDiePie became from this guy that everyone hated.
There was everyone that we are derailed so hard. I love it though.
It's kind of like Justin Bieber, where everyone hated Justin Bieber.
Now they're like, I mean, Justin Bieber's more like
him now.
More, I think Justin Bieber's more so now, whatever. You know what I mean? I think PewDiePie's actually beloved. I mean, most people
because he went from everyone fucking hated him.
I remember dude in middle school. Yeah,
everyone wanted fucking
for no reason.
Yeah, why? It's some kids singing.
And they're like, "Fuck him! I hope he dies." This little girly ass kid fucking singing, "Baby, fuck him."
My favorite fucking video was that him singing on he was giving a concert, and then some guy throws a water ball at him, and he's like, "That didn't feel good."
Oh my!
That is my favorite fucking video.
That's so funny.
It was so dumb though.
I don't know. I kind of close this hype beast thing off because they sell a lot of shit. They sell hockey masks. There's random shit, and I think it's it just kind of goes to show how much things aren't worth anything unless people tell you how much they're worth. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And nothing's only something's only worth something if you're willing to pay that price for it. So
yeah, definitely.
That's just how it works, right? So
it's
the company says this hockey mask is $300. And you're like, oh, it's $300. Yeah.
And a lot of people just pay for it because they want to be look how much money I have. And also, a
lot of that stuff has aftermarket value because people don't get it online. It sells out, and they're like, oh, I'll get the sneakers thing. When people buy the sneakers for
the Jordans,
they'll buy them for $200, $300, and then the aftermarket they're $1,000.
Yeah.
They the Air Max and all that stuff. I mean, the Yeezys, all that shit. And it's and that's cool. I play so. I'm gonna open a can of worms. I play Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh really heavily, but not so anymore, not so much. And those cards have their own stock market. Mm-hmm. So do all those items too. So
I think that's also a good marketing move where you're selling stuff.
It teaches you a lot about
markets. You're selling stuff to people, but you're kind of selling. And you're oh, this is just a shirt, but it could also be an investment.
Yeah,
I think that's a smart way of
it is a smart way to look at it. But most of the kids don't even look at it like that. They just look at it oh, I'm gonna buy this sick ass shirt.
Yeah, but they buy it, but then they justify it to themselves. They're oh, I could just sell this in the future.
But they're not gonna sell it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh cards is different because there are people that make livings. Maybe not they're not fucking Bill Gates, but or anything like that. But they make their living.
What if they found getting the cards, blue-eyed white dragon?
Oh my god, getting cards and flipping them. Either by and sometimes it gets a little scummy because they rip off kids or they buy them off people for if the card's worth $200, they'll buy it off a kid for $10 and then they'll just flip it for the market price, which is $200. It happens a lot, but there are cards like that right now in the game where it's and I'll talk about competitive Yu-Gi-Oh later.
Yeah, that'll be a different topic for another day.
Yeah, but basically just that kind of expensive shit, it's only worth something if it's only worth something because people say so.
Yeah, I mean, that's with a lot of things. It's
that's
worth
basically
what people
everything.
are willing to pay for
basically everything, but
yeah.
Okay, so
all right, we're gonna take a quick break.
Yeah.
and we'll be right back.
Holy shit, that was half an hour.
All right, welcome back. So this next topic is going to be a little bit of a conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to talk about this because I believe in it because it's kind of dumb. But I think it's interesting, which is flat Earth.
Oh, fuck. I hate this shit. All right, go ahead.
All right, first of all,
no.
First of all, I don't believe in it. But, like, you know, when I first heard about it, I'm like, this is the dumbest shit. You know, it's fucking 2018. It's not the fucking 12 BC where, like, people were, like, fucking rubbing rocks on their butt cheeks, you know?
I really thought we were just, like, over this, but I guess not.
But it is interesting because... And
I will listen to it.
It's not just that I'm going to tell you the theory. I'm going to tell you why people believe it.
Go ahead.
Because I think there's a real reason. First of all... Did you know that there's no actual picture of the Earth?
What?
They never actually took a picture of the Earth. Like, you know, like
the whole Earth.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of like the Earth from outer space, but not like the whole thing.
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
Really?
Yeah. So what they do is, you know, they have like the what they call it, like the things that like spin around the Earth, like what is it called? Like things that are outside the Earth, like I forgot.
Satellites?
Yeah, satellites. So what they do is they like take like hundreds of like thousands of like pictures of the Earth with the satellites going from
and
they Photoshop it together to make it look to have like an idea of what it will look like.
Because you can't just take a whole picture of the Earth.
Yeah, because it's too close, so it would have to go really far away, and they can't get far away enough to like take a picture of it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like they could,
but apparently there isn't.
Okay.
Maybe I'm full of shit, but that's for you guys to decide.
I'll listen to it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's the first one.
So basically, no real picture of the Earth.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no like technically no proof that Earth is round.
Okay.
And then the second point they usually have is if you go to like the North or the South Pole, it's illegal to like go to like to a point you can't like go away anywhere. Like if you go to like the North Pole, you'll see like just like endless of like ice. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to go there. You're not allowed to fly planes there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they believe is that the Earth is like flat, so it's just flat.
And the government's trying to keep you from it.
And the edges of the Earth is just ice, you know?
Oh my god.
So and that's why you're allowed to go over it. And there was another thing where like so there was like this like plane flying, and like for some reason I think like some woman had to like give birth or something, so they couldn't go to the destination. They had to like go somewhere close. So the plane like took a different route.
Yeah. And
they end up being somewhere like completely else than they would have, like where like the plane like the transcript showed.
Wow.
So, but thing is that like there's a flat Earth map.
Okay.
And like they like went up or something, but besides like landing where it would be on like the round Earth, they landed where it would be on the flat Earth map. Are you fucking disrespecting the flat Earth theory?
I am. It's fucking gay. All right, go ahead.
And so you might ask why people believe this.
Okay.
So the reason why people think that the government is like forcing this on us is because they believe that like so if we believe that Earth is round and we're revolving around the sun, that kind of like makes us insignificant, where we're like we think that we're
nothing.
Yeah, we're not. We're just like some like evolutionary mistake that like just ended up being like this, and like when we die, we don't have like a purpose in life.
Yeah,
and we're just like we're whatever. But things that in the flat Earth theory, it's that Earth is just the ground, and on the sky you have like the heavens above, and the sun is revolving around us, and we're like the center of the universe. So if you make people believe that they're just useless and that they're just whatever, then they'll be more obedient and they'll just do whatever you want to do. But if you tell people that they have a purpose, then they won't do that. They'll just be like, I am a person and I'm important.
Sure.
So what do you think about that?
Do
you believe that Earth is flat?
Here's the thing. So around like I didn't know you were gonna talk about the fire shit, which is funny, but
Also, one more thing.
Oh my god!
A lot of people claim that they don't see the curvature of the Earth. Like they will like take a picture of like them outside of like looking at a plane.
It's flat.
And then they're like, "Where's the curvature?"
It's flat. Okay, so I remember back in like I think this was like late 2015, if I'm not mistaken. B.O.B., who was like he was pretty like, he wasn't a huge rap like hip hop guy at the time, but he was like he was somebody, and he was a flat earther, and he believed, he was like one of the first famous people. Yeah, I remember being like, the Earth was flat, like give me the proof, bruh. And then like him and like Neil deGrasse Tyson got into like a fucking like rap battle. It was crazy, but like,
wait, they got into a rap battle?
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson made a diss track.
What?
Yeah, I listened to it. It's amazing. I listened to this like 3 years ago, but
yeah,
like 2.5 years ago. But I don't know. I just like, the more I look into it, the more I look like, oh, like for all the proof I've seen of flat Earth, like the less it's like, the more proof I've seen against it too. Like people are like, oh, like the Earth can't be like round because if I drive 1,000 miles, like, it's not like I'm never gonna see it curve. I'm never gonna see the curvature of the Earth. But it's like, well, like in water's not curved, bro. Like water's like, it's
wait,
like,
what?
Yeah, I heard someone say like if they're on a boat,
oh, like the ocean,
like it's not gonna, like the ocean's not curved.
I mean, it's kind of
science. Curved. No, it's like, it is.
Dude, the scientists are paid off by the government, by Obama. Obama paid everyone off.
I'm not a scientist. I'm not saying that I am, but like, just like, I don't know, I can't see it. I really can't. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, I think it's mostly just because of like,
I think you're just a shill for the government.
Man, I'm just a shill for the government, but I don't see the validity in saying that, like, oh, like, when I flew in this way, I meant to land here, but I landed here instead because Earth is flat. Yeah. And I don't.
You want me to tell you
maybe your pilot's bad.
You want me to tell you the reason why people believe in it?
Sure.
I think this is the reason, because like
the actual reason.
I feel like, well, that's my opinion, so it's fact. Oof. But anyways,
yeah.
So I think the reason people believe it is because with the round Earth, it's just like, our lives are kind of like just useless. We're just like floating dust in space. Yeah, and that's kind of like a shitty, thought to have.
Feel good. Yeah,
because you're like you don't feel important.
You can't say I don't feel important about myself.
It's like the same reason why people believe in religion.
Yeah. What a segue.
But let me just finish my point. I will get into yours.
Go ahead.
But with the flat Earth theory, it's that we're the center of the universe. Above us is the heavens. So we have a place to go once we die. So it kind of like gives like importance to the person. It makes you feel good.
Yeah, but like that, like we're not just useless. Yeah, nothings in like this universe of vast.
Yeah, and it makes more sense from like a life perspective to like have a purpose. Because
like the universe is hypothetically huge, right? It's like just like we're like our Earth is like fucking closer. Like a grain of sand compared to like everything else.
Yeah, it's technically infinite.
It's technically infinite, but like we basically saying we don't matter, but we do matter on our Earth, which is where we are. So yeah. Like,
Okay, but let's get into
move on. So the religion thing was cool. You mentioned that because I want to talk about.
I wasn't even thinking about it,
but like it's not going to be super because we're going to talk about religion more specifically.
Of course,
but this is going to be more of like because. So my topic is: does modern society have a need for religion? Mm-hmm. Like, do we need religion to function? Because it's like it's more of okay. You can say that, but the whole idea is like to play devil's advocate here is that like religion is basically tradition, right? And without tradition, without values and old customs, like that shape who we aren't anything. Mm-hmm. And that's like it's a fair point.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of people also argue that religion teaches morals, religion teaches values, religion teaches things that make it important to be a good.
And most importantly, it gives you a purpose, which is I think the reason why it's still on today.
I think that's why people still believe in God because a lot of people feel like without God I'm nothing. Like He's the reason I exist. He's the reason And like more and more in my adult life, I find myself back and forth. I wouldn't consider myself an atheist necessarily, but I definitely am not a believer.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider myself an agnostic.
I agree. I think I'm also agnostic.
I don't believe any of the religions are real, but the thing is that all I know is that I know nothing. So
yeah, it's like who the fuck am I to say religion is that my God's real?
Like for example, in the Bible, there's a lot of shit that don't make sense, like contradicts itself.
Yeah,
but what if God put it there just to, like, fuck with us, just to test our
what if to test
faith?
our faith? Yeah, exactly. Because religion's not about facts; it's about faith.
Yeah.
So that's the argument. Because my family is like, not everybody in my family, but a lot of people in my family are religious.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, like, you know, in my life that I talk to every single day, like, people in my direct family are religious. So, like, and they're not like fanatics. They're not like, you know, like, they're not saying like, Sean, you fucking got your ear pierced, got a tattoo, and you know, you drink a lot and you're a fucking heathen. Yeah. Like, you know, like, they don't care that I do that stuff. I mean, you know, and
see,
I mean, drinking a lot is different.
One thing I hate about religion is that, like, people fucking cherry pick shit out of it.
Oh yeah, like stuff that I want to.
Yeah, like the thing is that if you actually fucking believe that, that's the word of God. You have to fucking follow it.
I feel like it's either like you fucking follow that shit to a T,
or don't do it,
or like, don't do it. Yeah,
it's like.
But I feel like also, like, some people have their own interpretations of like what the Bible means. Like, some people say like, oh, like, you know, God hates gays.
Yeah.
So I'm not allowed. So I hate gays because God hates gays, and gays should not, you know, and you know, because I was raised Catholic.
Yeah.
And in the Catholic religion, it's not, and even to this day, it's not super tolerant of homosexuality. So like a Catholic priest is not going to marry a gay couple because they think like, in a way, like in my parish at least, the way the father, you know, the priest talked about it. Yeah. He said mostly like, you can be gay, but you can't act on your feelings. And that's why a lot of Catholic priests are gay, and that's where the stereotype comes from.
Of course.
Because back in the day, if you were gay, you were, you know, like, especially if you're open about it, you were just fucking shunned. Yeah. And either you found a way to close it and just, you know, bottle your feelings, just pretend to be straight, and just live your life. Like, I have an uncle who, like, it's like a super removed uncle.
Yeah.
Somebody that's like not really directly related to me, like married somebody who I'm related to.
Yeah.
Like a great uncle. He was like deaf. He was like a deaf Italian man, and he married my grandpa's sister. Yeah, my grandpa's sister, and on my mom's side, and he was really gay. Like, he was like really gay, but he was like, you know, he pretended to be straight for the majority of his life, and he had 2 kids. He, you know, he lived his life as a normal man, and later in his life, he realized, you know, like, that he had to act on his feelings, and this was in the 80s, so like, this is when HIV and like AIDS was like super big, and he just went wild and had, you know, and got HIV and died. You know, and just because like he was just so repressed.
Yeah, I think that's.
You know? And I don't know if it was
this is a different topic. But I think sexual oppression has been like the worst thing that has happened to this planet.
I think that's also, going back to our first topic. That's the reason why. I think that's the reason why we're so PC and so like, you know, because all this bad shit happen. People look at that and go, "We can't ever let this happen."
Yeah. Also, going back to the first topic, you know, one thing that I found really weird is like how the left side is very protective against like Muslims, and Muslims
hate them.
No, it's not even that. They're like the Islamic ideals are very like right wing. Where like women are not allowed to drive. They have to cover themselves up. Yeah. We have to kill gays.
They can't be with men that aren't their husband unsupervised. So if if your wife was out in public, you have to be with your wife. Somebody you like a brother, somebody has to be with your wife, and your wife can't be alone.
Yeah, like, I don't get that. Why the fuck do left side defend Muslims?
And they defend Muslims, so like they defend like Sharia law. You know, like Sharia law is the most oppressive form of law. It's literally the least like you know how our government is secular. It's like the exact opposite.
And the funny thing is that like I'm from Turkey, which is a mostly Muslim country. So when I was young, I was Muslim. But the thing is that like in Turkey, it's nothing like so that. It's like completely liberal. It's like here. But they say they're Muslims. But if you actually read the Quran, there's I believe it's passage like 418.
Really?
That literally says it says if someone's in the religion and they leave the religion, you have to kill them.
Wow.
That's in there. Like there's like no interpretation. All the interpretation says you have to kill that person. So technically my mom would have to kill me. Like what the fuck? Like people still believe this shit in 2018, and then the left side who's like liberal about all the trans movement and all the, you know, gay rights and everything, and they support that shit.
It doesn't. Like
if
you're very controversial.
If you're a gay or a trans person, you go to fucking Syria, you're gonna fucking get killed.
There was actually, and there's something I want to talk about. There was an artist I was following because, like, you know, it's Pride Month, And I follow like I like ideas, and I follow. There's a skeptic community on YouTube where they talk about like like the flat earth stuff, and they talk about like religion. And I follow a lot of these people on Twitter.
And things that way. Not to interrupt you, but
yeah, no, you're good.
But things that like I'm not saying to like go hurt anyone or like attack them or like abuse them verbally, because like in like high school we would see like girls that would like wear like the hijab and like shit.
Oh yeah.
And like
our high school is really diverse.
And things that most people like don't wear that because they believe the ideal. It's just that their parents were like Muslim and they're like forcing them to wear it, or they were like,
or they're just they believe in the religion, and that's fine.
And things that most people who believe in the religion don't actually read the book. They're just like
they interpret it their own way, like I was saying.
And they're like, oh, it teaches that you should be a good person, and then but it teaches a bunch of other shit. And like I said, if that's the word of God, you have to follow it if you actually believe it.
Well, I mean, I feel like but I feel like that's also controversial because you can interpret it. Like that's the thing. It's so like.
How do you interpret kill if?
No, not that. That's
that's
like,
part of it. You can't
that's like straight up like murder.
Yeah.
But like,
there's a lot of that.
That brings up something I want to mention. There's an artist who made a comic about basically this person is from the Philippines, and I don't know if anybody knows like a lot about the Philippines right now. The Philippines is a very Muslim country.
Really?
It's interesting, right? And they're even the president right now. They're super against homosexuality.
Yeah,
like super like super against gays. Mm-hmm. And this artist is a gay man. And he, made this comic about wanting to live in the U.S. and wanting to live elsewhere because it's Pride Month and they can't celebrate it because, it's like basically them being like, wow, like these are all my friends, looking online on social media, their friends at a Pride parade, and then being like, wow, I wish I was there. And then outside of the of the window, you see a whole bunch of people in like, in like hijabs and like.
Yeah.
In like these, in like the clothes, like the full. I forgot what they're burqas.
Yeah.
Full burqas, wearing like anti-LGBT. Wearing like anti-LGBT, like having like anti-LGBT signs and like hating gays and all that shit. And it's like like you forget when you live in like a Western society that's like a real like they will kill you if you're gay. It's in a lot of these countries.
My God, all right, Dio wants to chill here.
Yeah, he's fine, but all right, deal.
No, he's not fine. Get out
of here.
Dude, it's insane. Like, why do you care if someone's gay?
Mostly, it's like and like I know people that you might think like, oh, they're talking about the gay thing a lot. I feel like that's like a really good example of just how like religions like can be so restrictive, and also, but like also the way I feel too is like if you want to follow religion, no matter what the religion is, you go for it. Just don't involve me in it. And that's the same thing we were talking about with like like people's politics. Like people,
that's your business.
That's your business. Now, if you want to talk to me about your beliefs, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah.
But don't try to like tell me that I'm a sinner. I'm a bad person because I don't believe in your religion. Yeah. And that's also the other thing because I grew up.
I mean, like the thing is that like the whole like bad person, good person thing. That's like such a surreal concept.
People say like you have to be religious. Like there's an argument for religion.
Just like morals in general.
Religion is what teaches morals. But I think that like in general, morals are just kind of like a societal thing now. Like, you just kind of like
bullshit.
It's just kind of like it's not about religion anymore. I know people who didn't grow up having religion, and they're fine. Wow, look at that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, definitely. I just don't. And there are also people like when people say, "Oh, there are also people that grow up about religion that are just fucked," and there are also just people that are fucked in general. Mm-hmm. Like people that are just like they just grew up in really bad situations, or they, like whatever the case may be. But,
I mean, like back in the day, like thousands of years ago, when like people were just like wild animals, pretty much. Well, religion made sense because it was
a structure.
Yeah, there was like a it's like. You would be like, all right, don't kill other people, and they'll be like, why? And you'd be like, oh, if you could kill someone when you die, you go to hell. Yeah. So it would stop people from doing that. Like what the Ten Commandments. Yeah. That's like the first, like one of the first forms of written law. Yeah. And it was based on religion, sure, but there wasn't any difference between religion and government. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like religion, religion and government were basically it was just made to control people.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, but nowadays we don't need because we have set of rules now.
I think that the founding fathers separating church and state is just the smartest idea. It was so because that was unheard of. That wasn't really
nowadays
a thing.
Though. People still feel the need to like every time there's a new president, they always talk about they always have to be religious first of all. And they have to like talk about God.
Yeah.
Even Trump is like, he still says like religious stuff, even though I'm pretty sure he doesn't believe in it.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't either.
Yeah.
But it's just so like, and not to put that on anybody who's religious. It's just like, I feel like just in modern society, it's just like, especially where we live in New York, right? So we might have a different perspective from somebody who lives in like Mississippi or someone who lives in like,
definitely,
like Alabama, because somewhere like backwoods or somewhere even like Southwest, like New Mexico, Arizona, because
it's all about religion. I think it's all about education.
Yeah, but it's also about like your environment. New York is the melting pot.
Definitely.
Like you're a Turkish guy.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't have met you if you didn't come to America. Yeah. So it's like,
and you're Irish, so.
Well, I have Irish ancestry on my on my dad's side and some of my mom's side. So it's like like they came here in like the 50s, 60s and earlier. So like they if they didn't come to America at that time, then I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So it's like like New York is just so like
diverse.
It's so diverse. Like I work with people of all different creeds, of all different. I work with a guy who barely speaks English, and he's like 40 years old, dude. And he like he's learning. I can like talk to him, and I can tell he's learning English like more and more just by being around, and like that kind of shit. So it's like New York's just so interesting because like like you go you walk down like even in like my small town.
I think we derailed.
Yeah, we derailed really
hard.
What are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about? Basically, so basically the point is that I feel that your morals and all that stuff,
it's unnecessary.
It's all based on your environment and not on your religion. You know what I mean? It's all based on the people you interact with, and that used to be your religion because everybody was religious.
Yeah. And we also have law nowadays. If you can't go around killing someone because you'll get arrested.
Yeah. Like, unless you're Ted Cruz, a Zodiac killer, then you won't get arrested. But no.
Well, he goes by a different name when he does it.
Yeah. But, like, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's just so, like, and I'm not saying that religion should just not exist.
I'll say that.
I mean, you can say that. Yeah. That's fine. You can say that.
I don't think we need religion, especially if it's, like, harming people in, like, other countries. Like,
no, I agree,
like in the United States, we don't have to like worry about religion. You also have to look at religion
also does good too.
In what way?
Well, there are several organizations that are based off religion. A little background on me: when I was younger, my house got destroyed in a hurricane. Right, Hurricane Sandy when I was like 15, and when that happened, like my whole house got washed away. My whole life got flipped upside down. I was a teenager, so I was fucked up about it. Obviously, as you would be. I just became a sophomore in high school, so like and a lot of the organizations that came to help were churches, people from like Baptist churches from fucking like Alabama that helped us clean out our house. Places like even like the fucking Church of Scientology came to our town and gave out water. Yeah,
what the fuck?
Like
did Tom Cruise come with his cruise ship?
Yeah, fucking John Travolta shows up in the grease jacket.
Yo, Scientology shit is fucking.
It's wild. Well, that's another topic. But basically, what I'm saying is that like these religious organizations, and also the charity is a religious organization called Catholic Charities, and they helped out my family a lot just living, like just to pay rent and like exist because we didn't have our house, so we had to pay rent and in a different apartment.
But it's like the same thing with morals. Do we need that? Does that
but
need
nobody?
To be a religious
but I'm
place?
saying that nobody would have helped us without religion.
I guess.
I mean, we got.
You did have a point there.
We got some help from FEMA.
Yeah.
But not enough because I have 4 siblings and several pets.
Yeah.
And we're all around the same age. So I'm a triplet. So I have 3 siblings and then I have one sister is a year younger. So like we're all around the same age. We're all, we're all teenagers. And it was just like, imagine if we were younger, like you know what I mean, so that kind of shit. So it's like, if without religion, the way I kind of see without religion, I would kind of be fucked, in a way. Not every way, but
I think it definitely has some benefits.
No, I mean not every. Charity. I mean obviously I'm not even in. A lot of people that's the kind of shit that turns people religious.
Yeah,
and I'm not religious because. I just don't feel like... I feel like if there's a God and I'm being a good person, and if God's real, then he'll recognize me being a good person whether or not I have faith.
Yeah, but did you hate the gays?
Yeah, they're a real big problem. No, but...
how dare they
do
stuff in their private time?
Yeah. No, but... how dare they be consenting adults?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I just to end that off.
Okay.
To end that, basically, like I feel religion's not super necessary for a society to function.
Yeah.
But I feel that there are good things about religion that definitely shouldn't be snubbed out or like, you know, just washed away just because of the bad things. And there are a lot of bad things, but you know, there's good that comes from it. Is basically my point.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good segment to end this show. But
yeah, I think we're done.
So we're gonna go, guys. Thanks for watching or listening, depending on how you're viewing this thing. So this is the first episode, so we're gonna figure out like where to put it everywhere.
Yeah.
But we also have an email that I want you guys to email to, which I haven't created yet. So what should we call the email?
Whatever we decided to do. Fucking show.
Well, we have the show called.
We have the show.
I'll Say It.
Final Say It podcast. So I guess Final Say It @gmail.com.
Yeah.
I mean,
so fine, I'll say it @gmail.com. Go there.
If that's there. And we don't know if that's available, but
yeah, if it's not, I'll have it in the description what it is. I should have it written right here if you're watching. Otherwise, I'll have it in the description or whatever. But send us your questions or your comments or whatever if you have an opinion.
Death threats if you got
yeah, definitely send us some death threats.
I'm gonna die, to be honest.
We'll have a death threat of the week. Whoever can
Sean, I hope you drown in the pool of cum, you fucking monster.
Yeah, give us the most
insane.
Yeah.
Where's encouraging your fans to give us death threats?
Yeah, make sure to raise 5 stars on iTunes, and in the comments just give us a death threat. I will read it out loud. So we'll see you guys next week. Every Tuesday we're gonna have new episodes on our YouTube channel, whatever we call it. We'll have that in the description or whatever. We have each segment posted as a new video. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.